Good morning, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching as always, it is appreciated. The Muslim population of this United Kingdom now outnumbers the Welshmen and the Northern Irish in the country, and I think this is quite disturbing. This is the first image I have for you. In the 16th century, the country of Wales became the country of Wales whilst in the United Kingdom. Now in 2025, there are officially more Muslims living in the UK than there are Welsh people living in the UK. This didn't happen by accident. True, it didn't happen by accident. This was imported without democratic consent from the population. Let's have a look into this in a bit more detail. The Muslim population is 3.9 million, now outnumbers the Welsh population of 3.1 million. Wake up, people, next is Scotland, then England. Hard to argue with that point. Now, in the Muslim population, alright, this is a imported culture. Many probably do assimilate, and personally, I haven't had any personal issues. However, according to statistics that are widely available, about between a third and a quarter of all Muslims are the most extreme, are the most radical, and take their holy book, the Quran, quite literally. The issue is there's no vetting process, and it's not like the other religions like Hinduism, Sikhs, or Christianity, which is the native religion of these islands. We haven't got extremist problems in these religions, but there is an extremist issue within Islam. That's just a fact of the matter. Now, because there was no vetting procedure for who gets granted citizenship in the United Kingdom to weed out the undesirables, you're talking 1 million of these 4 million Muslims are radicals that, while not terrorists themselves, could be described as Islamists, which is they have terrorist sympathies and they don't object to Muslims actually committing acts of terrorism. So you've got a heck of a problem. There's over 1 billion Muslims in the world, so if you extrapolate that quarter, that's over 250 million. And we've got no vetting procedure to which ones we're letting in the country. Not all cultures are the same, and not all cultures are of equal value. It's no accident that the Western world is the Western world. It's a portion of the world. The world is a big place. Not everybody lives like us, and not everybody talks like us. And this isn't about skin colour. This is about culture more than anything else. People in England, or this United Kingdom, are a product of their culture, their environments, their family, their upbringing, their values. That is what defines me as a British person, alright? You can't actually import people from vastly different cultures and expect them not to bring their baggage with them, literal baggage of the product of their environment, their culture, and their parents, and the values they were raised with in whichever country they came from. That's just the fact of the matter. Now we get on to the third image I'm going to bring up here. This is Bridget Phillipson. She says that she's a product of immigration. She is in this photo with her granddad, his family, and her grandmothers came over from Ireland. That's the Southern Ireland, that's the Republic. He served in the RAF. Both of them trained as nurses, helping build the NHS. Then she goes on to say, I am the granddaughter of immigrants. Stories like theirs are part of our national story. I will never forget that. You had to pick Ireland. You had to pick the Republic of Ireland, didn't you? Right. Ireland is the country that is most similar to the United Kingdom, even more than Australia, New Zealand, Canada, or the United States. They are old world, much like Britain. So you're deliberately conflating things here, and you're doing it, and you're trying to give a low-resolution story to say immigration good, and if you're not for immigration, you are a bad person. I'm not buying into that. Don't buy into it for 1 second. First of all, up until about 100 years ago, Southern Ireland was in the United Kingdom. Now, my great-grandparents on my mother's side came over to Britain, the mainland, from Southern Ireland before the partition. So because of that, they had equivocal rights, as you see here. People born in Ireland before partition were British subjects by birth under the British nationality and status of Aliens Act 1914. The entire island was part of the UK. After 1922, the Irish Free State Agreement preserved this status for those who did not become Irish citizens via the Irish Free State's constitution. They retained British subjecthood, but were treated as Irish subjects in practice, with rights to live, work and vote in the UK without restrictions, similar to the Commonwealth citizens today. So Bridget Phillipson's grandparents came over before 1922. They wouldn't have been immigrants. And if they came over between 1922 and 1949, I believe it is, again, there was a transitional period, so they wouldn't have been immigrants in any real or meaningful way. She's deliberately conflating things to make a case for migration which doesn't hold any water. Let's have a look at between 1922 and 1949 period, residents or natives of era were Irish citizens per Irish laws, who remained British subjects under UK law until 1949. Again, this means free movement with residents in the UK without work permits, voting rights, eligibility for public office, not full citizenship privileges such as automatic passports, they used Irish travel documents, or equal treatment in imperial matters. They couldn't claim British subject status for naturalisation elsewhere in the Empire without complications. So if her grandparents came over in that influx, they pretty much were treated equal with British citizens due to the legacy of the Irish Republic. Alright? This is very important because they don't want you to look at the detail, the granular detail of what we're talking about. Now, with the Republic of Ireland today, the United Kingdom has a common travel area. I can go to the Republic of Ireland tomorrow with my driver's licence on a ferry. No need for a passport because of the common travel area. I can get a domestic flight to the Republic of Ireland from Liverpool, and again, because there's no need, because it is a common travel area. These are the things they don't want you to think about. They just want you to think immigration good. If you're anti-migration, you're racist. And they pick the example of the most common and similar country to us to make the case. And it doesn't hold any water. If all immigration to Britain was equal, graphs like this wouldn't exist. Sexual offences, SOs, per 10,000 head. Oh look, they're all non-European countries by the look of it. Oh no, sorry, one, Albania, and Angola maybe. I think Angola's Africa actually, but look at the UK. And Ireland's not even represented on this graph, okay. Not all people are equal. Not all people treat women the same. This is very, very important. And I think this is a concerted effort in design. I think this is all done on purpose. I think there's levels of people that are involved in this. You've got the useful idiots, which is basically 95% of the MPs in Parliament. They vote along party lines, they don't make waves, they pick up the salary and vote exactly how their party wants. They don't even read the legislation before it goes through. Back in the day, in the 19th and early 20th century, your parliamentarians were the greatest thinkers of the country, and going to Parliament was an honour, and they drafted the legislation personally. Now you've got these non-government organisations, the NGOs. They draft all the legislation, and the MPs are merely there to sign off on it. The whole thing needs to change. Immigration is not necessarily a good thing, and at this point I think we need migration in the reverse. Remigration for people that don't share our cultural norms and values. This is not racism. Then we look at what Joe Rogan says. He thinks that it's all part of the design as well. So we're going to play this now.
Submitted to it. They just submitted to digital ID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these motherfuckers are pushing digital ID on these people. Mm-hmm. And once they do digital ID, they're going to attach it to a social credit score. Yep. They're going to attach it to a carbon footprint score. and then they'll be able to control your movement and control you entirely. And most importantly, they've already arrested 12,000 people for social media posts.
That's insane.
Above and beyond every other country. Way above Russia. Russia was like 400 last year. The UK's 12,000. Any criticism of immigration, any criticism of grooming gangs and people being raped, any talk about how horrible this is, they come visit you. It's like someone's trying to destroy England. It's literally like they've got a concerted effort to destroy England, and they're getting away with it.
Yeah, and what happens over there?
It's really crazy. It's really crazy to watch. Because the mass immigration's not an accident. If I was going to destroy a country, I would do it exactly the way they're doing it. I'd take away their freedom, take away their ability to protest, take away their guns, which they did in the 90s, and then you'd start tightening that noose. Tighter and tighter, add more restrictions, more this, more that.
I mean, we're getting closer.
And just the arresting people. When you arrest 12,000 people for social media posts, you don't just arrest people for social media posts. You change people's ability to post about things because of fear. So they self-censor. So you don't even... You're hitting them with, like... This one guy who complained about... There's a famous video where this fucking idiot in a wig... He's one of them judges, they wear the wigs, the white powdered wigs. And he's sentencing this guy for 20 months for social media posts that are normal. Like normal complaints about mass immigration of illegals from other countries that aren't assimilating and that they believe are ruining their society, which there's a real argument for.
We'll leave that one now. Now here's the thing, I think a country is a product of its people. The culture is informed by the generations that came before. My parents informed my worldview. My family informed my worldview. And together you build a culture and a community. And over centuries and millennia, that becomes the country. The institutions are born from that culture, and they all meant to interlock and work together. Without no borders, you have no country. And at what point the demographic in the United Kingdom, when it's no longer white British as a majority, at what point does it stop becoming Britain? At what point does it stop being the United Kingdom? Sure, it can be called UK on a piece of paper, but at what point in that demographic shift does it stop being the country that we recognise and we call home? It's already started it's already completed in the major cities, which is why they're looking to do this Operation Scatter, which is calling the countryside racist, complaining there's not enough halal meat in the countryside, because if you've got no halal meat in the countryside where you can't get the Muslims out of the cities, and the cities, if you look at Liverpool, if you look at Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow, Belfast, what have you, they've all gone the same way as London with the demographic shift. And the people that mostly complain about the racists, like me, apparently, they live in the lofty suburbs. They live in predominantly white neighbourhoods. They're untouched. They are completely untouched by the problems that they've imposed on the population. These are just my thoughts. When does England stop being England? When does Britain stop being Britain? That's what I want to know. Comment below, like and subscribe. Let me know if you think I'm onto something, or let me know I'm talking out my rear end. Other opinions are valid. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm asking you to critique and look at the situation. I appreciate your time as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.